Being part of the ISV Connect program helps our visibility with Microsoft sellers, which in turn helps us when we're introduced to new partners.
It has accelerated our entrance into new markets, and our product is developing with higher quality and at higher speed than it would otherwise have.
Things like ISV licensing, handling our licenses just like any Microsoft first-party applications. We see that as a big benefit.
What ISV Connect program introduced is very different level of confidence with our customer. And with the Microsoft expanding the program, we are expecting to grow our ISV portfolio significantly.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Brian Galicia. I lead our Dynamics Power Platform ISV business here at Microsoft. And in today's ISV Connect live show, we're doing something slightly different. It's been a while since we've done this, but occasionally we'll bring on Microsoft employees to showcase a specific topic. And you can imagine OpenAI, ChatGPT, or anything AI related tied to the business application platform. We thought it was super relevant to get and share some amazing innovation that Microsoft is up to. And what better way to do that than Brenda, who's a partner technology strategist and specialist within our own organization that works super closely with my team in regards to educating partners as to how to maximize their IP, their ISV IP with the platform. So before we get started, let me do a quick housekeeping items before we get to the meat of the conversation and everyone can get to know Brenda. First off, well, thank you so much for making the time. We know everyone's busy. It's a Monday morning. Unfortunately, it's raining in Seattle, but that doesn't damper the opportunity for everyone to learn today all the amazing things that we're doing with OpenAI. So during the conversation, especially as we kick off, as we normally do, if you're watching this live, thank you. Definitely put in the LinkedIn window where you're watching from. Maybe you're watching from Wisconsin or doing it actually. That's where Brenda is actually doing the show from. I'm doing it from Seattle, but if you're doing it from Europe, somewhere in North America, and maybe you're way up late and you came across this and you're watching in Asia, I definitely would love to give you a shout out in the live feed. So if you just want to put in the comment windows where you're watching from, we can do that. Second is, as we're having the conversation, if you actually have a question, and you might, because it's such a hot topic around the industry, you can utilize the LinkedIn window to ask a question, and I'll be able to see it, and I'll be able to ask Brenda potentially, if there's time, a real-time question at the end and to get topical questions out in the open. And also during the conversation, if you like something or something is resonating with you, definitely utilize one of the LinkedIn emoji icons, celebrate, like, etc., because that also gives us the ability to understand that the content is resonating. So without further ado, Brenda, thank you so much. I'm not sure, I don't think I've ever hosted you before on the show, but it's a pleasure to have you join me. Thank you for making the time. So as we start all shows out, why don't you share a little bit about your background? What do you do as a partner technology strategist at Microsoft working with ISVs? And then icebreaker question I always ask all my guests is, what's one thing not on your LinkedIn profile that you're open to sharing?
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me, Brian. I'm so excited today to talk to everyone about OpenAI and how it's just kind of taking over Power Platform and business applications. So yeah, like Brian said, my name's Brenda. I'm a partner technology strategist. So I actually work with our partners, and it's kind of in the title, to strategize solutions and how they can basically go to market and just, provide basically awesome solutions on top of our Dynamics and Microsoft platforms. And prior to that, I was actually for about a decade an architect, and I worked at partners implementing Dynamics 365 and Power Platform. So I definitely love business applications. And one thing about me that's not on my LinkedIn profile, so I actually grew up with, my family's very entrepreneurial. My grandparents actually started bakeries. They have a bunch of bakeries in Wisconsin. And so I grew up watching my grandma make bread, and she let me make a lot of probably very disgusting desserts. But yeah, that's one little fun fact about me.
Oh, geez. Well, two things, Brenda, I'll have to ask you now, because I've been to Wisconsin a few times. What is the is it the bakery slow business?
Yeah. Actually, yeah, it is. Wildflower Bakery is what.
Oh, Wildflower. Okay, so I have to look for it. So next time I'm in Wisconsin, I'm definitely have to look for it. And the second thing is, what's your most favorite thing to bake? Is it a cake? Is it cookies? Is it bread?
So I would say definitely like cookies or cheesecakes, probably.
Oh, cheesecake. So of
both I
course,
really
well,
enjoy making.
being
Yeah.
Wisconsin, of course, we'd have to say the
Cheesecake,
cheesecakes.
so
I love
good.
it. Okay, good. So before we get started, I'm going to do a quick shout out. Thank you, everyone. We got a lot of people watching this live, so thank you so much. I'm going to do a quick shout out to all the people watching live. So OG, thank you so for watching from Canada, Niagara Falls, the near Buffalo, and probably Toronto. So thank you for making the time. Sometimes it does this, so I apologize. I'll have to look at the feed later, but someone watching from Kansas City, Missouri, thank you. Alexander, London. So it's great. We always have typically Europeans watching the show. Prairie of Colorado. So Robert, I'll have to look at that. If that's a city or maybe because Colorado's big and I love Colorado because it's special for skiing. So thank you. Ray from St. Louis. Love it because I love the arches. If you've never been to St. Louis, definitely have to go there for the arch, the famous arch. Dr. Petre, Dallas. So thank you so much. John, of course, who we know really well from Ohio. Jordan from Indiana. Nehim, and I apologize, I might be pronouncing that name incorrectly, but Minneapolis, Minnesota, really close to you. Brenda, Kitchener, Canada. So thanks, Mary. I love it. Wow, we have someone from Buenos Aires, Argentina. Again, another favorite spot. I've been to Buenos Aires once in my lifetime, and it was a very great experience. Wow, and then very close from Uruguay. So Hugo, thank you so much. Greg from Ottawa, Ed, and who we know both Brenda and I from Dublin. Thank you so much, Ed. It's good to see you. Sal from New Jersey. Another person from New Jersey, Rich. Roberto from Miami. I love it. Let's go here. Someone knows you. Looks like let's go, Brenda. I love it. Tony, you probably that's good. You probably know me. I don't know Tony, but
I know a few of these names, so I'm so glad.
I love it. Roberto, cheesecakes. Love it. Maybe you're Brazilian because the cheesecakes in Brazil are amazing. Ian, thank you from Pittsburgh. Another fan that you have. Brenda's the best. I love it. Gosh, a few more. This is great. I love how many people are watching this live because this shows us this is a hot topic. And we definitely, based upon what we learned today, maybe you might see this as a series that we'll do with Brenda so that we continue with the education. Edward from Baltimore. Teresa from Redmond. Elizabeth, Colorado. Thank you so much. More horses than people, more cows than horses. I love it, Robert. Michael from Northeast Ohio. Ed from Cape Coral, Florida. Yeah, I love me some sunshine. I wish that we had some of that sunshine today. Aaron from Salt Lake City. I promise we're almost done. It looks like, hopefully I'm skinny. It's like amazing. There's a lot of people on here. Aaron from Salt Lake. Again, unfortunately, I apologize. I don't know who this is, but someone from Washington, D.C. Joshua from Atlanta, Georgia. Another person from Latin America and from South America, Humberto, Bogota, Colombia. Thank you. Israel from Nigeria. And last but not least, Mitchell, thank you, Mitchell. I know you, Mitch. Thank you for making time from Carlsbad, Canada. So continue doing that. We'll try to do shout outs, or again, if the conversation as we're going through this resonates, we'll definitely potentially have time for asking questions. So I'm going to do this. Let me share, go to a different screen here so we can start talking about the conversation and the content. So I'm going to let Brenda start the dialogue, but we're really going to cover three things. What is OpenAI? How have we paired it up with the Power Platform and Dynamics? How should you as partners, and again, for any partners on the phone, particularly ISVs, you could be an SI, but we're really going to be targeting ISVs to have the education of what can ISVs do now in tying potentially IP scenarios to OpenAI with Dynamics and Power Platform. And then Brenda's going to do a demo so it teases out some creative ideas. So I'm going to be driving the presentation here, but Brenda, I'll move to the next slide here and you can just go through some of it. So yes, I just kind of went through this. This is what we're going to talk about today in the next 20 minutes. And so Brenda, why don't we just talk about OpenAI first, and you can kind of give an overview of what it really means, kind of demystify it for people.
Perfect. Yeah, this is a perfect slide. So, and I promise everyone, I will not bore you. This is a very short presentation. We'll get into the good stuff in a few minutes. So OpenAI is actually a company that Microsoft has partnered with. And really what they are is, we can think of the term generative AI. So I kind of, not to make it a comparison, but I did sort of list off, like when we think of traditional AI, we think of artificial intelligence that looks at data that we already have, to recognize patterns, make some sort of predictions, hone in on analytics, or classify data, right? Just a very high level. When we think of generative AI, this is actually artificial intelligence that's creating new content. So it's creating images, audios, text, summaries, code, and it also evaluates that content to become more smart. Really, really very cool. And one thing I want to just sort of explain too, because I know we have a wide, set of listeners tuning in today. It's not one or the other, right? You can think of artificial intelligence almost as like a platform, right? Like there's different, or a pie rather. Let me bring in my baking skills here. These are just pieces of the AI pie, basically. So you don't have to use one or the other. You actually can use them together. And I think we'll see that as it sort of evolves in the Microsoft ecosystem. But generative AI, you can also use singularly, and it's very cool. I'm excited to show you how cool it is in the demo later. So we can go to the next slide, Brian. So under OpenAI, and some of these foundations or algorithms you probably have heard of, so like ChatGPT, that's been kind of a keyword. But OpenAI also has some other models, so DALL-E, Codex, Whisper, and the new GPT-3. So these are different models under OpenAI, and they do different things. So there's conversational chatbots, there's Whisper that does automatic speech recognition, Codex, which we'll actually get to see firsthand later today, and it can actually generate code for you. So these are different models that fall under OpenAI. What does this mean for Power Platform and Dynamics 365? So we'll show you. There's this whole era of Copilot, and some people that are tuning in may be familiar with within GitHub, there's Copilot. We're actually bringing that to Dynamics 365. So you can I think in 2 slides from now, this will resonate a little bit better, but we're going from tools to like a creative assistant. Instead of data input, we're getting output. That's where that generative AI comes in. And I think it's kind of important here because I've read a lot of different articles and heard interviews where people are very afraid of like AI taking over their job. I actually think that this generative AI, it really helps to make things more efficient. It optimizes your job. And it's like creative assistant is a perfect, the from to analogy here. It's something that's going to help you do your job more quickly. So maybe some tasks that are more mundane, that take you a long time responding to lots of emails. Well, with generative AI, we can actually get emails created for us. Viva Sales does a component of that today that you can actually even test out. So there's very cool things that are coming that really just help people do a more efficient job and basically be able to scale themselves as a person. Specifically to Power Platform, we see this evolution. So today you can tap into what's called AI Builder. That's more of like the traditional AI where you train the model, you feed the model, right? We also have AI connectors that we can tap into. And now, really starting last week or two, we actually have OpenAI features that we can tap into. So like things like Codex, where it actually can generate code for you. Or another example is for anyone who's used Power Automate. And let me take one step back here. For anyone who doesn't know the Power Platform or Power Automate, this is the workflow engine or workflow tool that basically drives Dynamics 365. So we can actually create Power Automate flows just by, typing in very simple sentences like, I want to be able to take attachments from an email and put it in SharePoint. And it will actually create a Power Automate flow for you, which is pretty incredible. And then in terms of Dynamics, our CRM and our ERP system, we're seeing, things like create product descriptions, predict disruptions, right? Enhanced Power Virtual Agents, different kind of insights being surfaced, notes being summarized when you're on a sales call. All of these different things, that's part of the generative AI package and how we're like sort of supercharging our business applications and Power Platform. So what does this mean for Microsoft partners? This is the good stuff, right? This is what you want to know. Basically, what I feel this brings to our partners, I mean, and it of course brings it to our customers too, but from a partner perspective, we're accelerating development. So we're able to build proof of concepts or minimum viable products faster than ever before. So if you guys have an idea, a solution that you want to bring to market, but you're not sure, how it's going to look, how much time you need to invest in it, we can actually scale more quickly and develop more rapidly than we ever have before. I'll give a very specific example in my demo, so hopefully that'll resonate with everyone listening in. But really, that's the key takeaway, is that you can just accelerate the solutions that you're bringing to market. I also think another really strong point is that you can enable your current team. So you don't need to go out and hire a whole bunch of data scientists. You don't need to amp up your tech team right now or your development team. You can actually use your citizen developers, your super users in the system to go in and encourage them to build something. So I think that that's a huge pro, because all of these features that we're about to show you and that our products are being supercharged with, like, anyone can really go in and learn it and leverage it very quickly. And then the other two just small call-outs that I wanted to make here was the concept of grounding and responsible AI, which I think kind of go together. But Microsoft is committed to surfacing truthful public and private data. And we're constantly evaluating our AI systems so they're fair, reliable, secure, inclusive, and transparent. What does that really mean in the most basic form? We only want to surface accurate information. And so we're constantly evaluating our systems to make sure that it's doing that. Let's get into the good stuff.
Great. I love it, Brenda. Hopefully everyone got a concept, because I'm learning myself. Even at Microsoft, we're all learning all these new capabilities. And Brenda, what a nice overview of scenarios and capabilities. And I think for everybody on the phone, besides the Copilot scenario that Brenda talked about, I think another thing that people can get exposure to, that even outside of business platform and Dynamics, is if you've not tried the new Bing experience, if you just go to bing.com/new, and that will get you into a waiting list. And it's pretty quick. I got even as an employee, I got my access within less than a week. But it's a great way to get exploration as to what's the power of just conversation and how that pops up. But even more excited with all the things we can do, what Brenda's going to show is pretty interesting. So without further ado, let me share your screen, Brenda, and we can go directly into the I'm sure a lot of people are waiting anxiously to go, wow, let's see this in action. So I'll let you take it over. Go ahead.
Okay. I am sharing. Can you see my screen, Brian?
I can. Yes, it's perfect. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to do this in full screen here so that, yeah, there we go. It's a little bit bigger.
Excellent. So this is a Power Virtual Agent. It's a chatbot. That's what it is. So when you go onto someone's website, or for some of you tuned in, you might even manage a chatbot for your own company. And so I'm showing you, this is a trial environment, so just bear with me. Essentially what I've done is I've taken our website, our Power Platform, our business applications website right here, and I've put it in under AI capabilities. And you can see the test bot on the left-hand pane right here. So it says, hello, I'm Power Platform Helper. How can I help you? Hi. Let me make sure that it responds. How can I help you today? Where can I learn about Power Platform? Oops. Just a second. So what it does is it's actually using this URL. It's sort of scouring the website to collect information, and then using OpenAI and natural language. So when I ask it a question like, where can I learn about Power Platform? It actually surfaces all the different links about where learning resources are within our website. So this may not seem too earth-shattering, but as a former architect and someone who had set up chatbots, this I would have maybe not ever even recommended someone, try to categorize their entire website within a chatbot, or it would have been a pretty significant scope of work, basically. This has effectively cut down, this whole process, what you're seeing me do right here. I mean, it took a matter of minutes. So we're talking about, taking like 98% of the work out of the work, which is pretty incredible. So this is using OpenAI. This is just one example of how something, you could build a proof of concept very quickly. And even for like your sales team, right? If you wanted to showcase something to resonate to a prospective customer, you can spin this kind of tool up, even a trial environment with a Power Virtual Agent, in about less than 10 minutes. So I think it's a pretty incredible feature. This is a huge enhancement for Power Virtual Agent. And it's a very quick way to kind of set up like, hey, if you wanted a chatbot for your own company website, you could absolutely do something like this.
I love it, Brenda. And I think you hit it on the head. It's when you think about these chatbots, a lot of people think, oh, it's like a customer service contact center scenario.
Yeah.
But it could be used in multiple ways, like you described, and even for a selling organization. And for those who've gotten a chance to consume the Copilot innovation that was announced last week, it takes it even further because, as you touched upon it, Brenda, if you're a seller and you're trying to figure out, oh, well, what type of conversation would I have to start out an open dialogue? And because anyone who's been in a selling role, including myself, is you're trying to say, okay, what type of message can I send to someone for the first time who doesn't know me that's going to show relevancy or show something that I know them and I have something to offer? These types of things that could be built in out of the box or extending what we're doing, it can be pretty powerful. Would that be a kind of a fair summary?
Absolutely, Brian. Yeah, I completely agree. Even some if you wanted to get like a specific use case too, I also think it could be extended to there's a partner that I'm working with today who uses, they're using our portals, our pages rebranded. This is, absolutely something you could package in with that. So a test bot or a chat bot rather, PVA, within a Power Page that you already package as a solution. So it's about, expanding what solutions you have, showing value quickly. I mean, I think it hits all the great parts of a company, right? Your sales team can quickly use it to be equipped to sort of wow customers, and your technical team can package it in a way that's meaningful for your customers existing.
I love it.
The other feature that I wanted to show, go ahead, Brian.
Sorry. No, I love it. No, it's I hopefully people people are watching this for the first time, if you've never seen this before. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, what you showed, Brenda, and being able to take any website. I mean, that was an example for ours for Power Platform, and ingest that into there in a few minutes. Prior to that, to your point, that would have taken much longer and not be as relevant or not be as accurate in being able to surface that up. So
yeah, absolutely. It really it's almost painful to me that this came out after so many projects I can think of, the hours we put in. But anyways, this is incredible. So I'm so excited. I encourage everyone on here, if you have an environment or you're excited about it, definitely test it out. It's not even that much of an investment in time to even try something like this.
Great.
The other feature that I'm so excited to show, and then I will wrap it up for questions. So again, Power Automate is the tool that we use to actually kick off workflow processes within Dynamics 365 and even outside of it. And so one of the new features is called Describe It to Design It. And this is using Codex, so OpenAI's Codex, which writes code for, you kind of do a natural language input, and it will actually build a flow for us today. So in the example I said earlier, I think is a really good one. When I get an email with an attachment, I want to add that to SharePoint. Hit enter. And this is the suggested flow that it creates for us. So it will say, hey, this is my trigger when an email arrives in my Outlook. What are the actions that I want to do? I want to create that file and add it to SharePoint. So I won't go through this whole process. It needs my permissions. Give it just 1 second. But it will actually walk you through setting up this flow. So even before, Power Automate has been such a significant improvement for someone like me who used to architect, or super users who are a little bit more technical. This Describe It to Design It could equip anyone in your organization to very easily create their own flows. So instead of bombarding your technical team, right, with these requests, they can take this right from a customer perspective. From a partner perspective, think about how quickly you can scale this, right? I know not all my partners, they're very smart. They have very great, incredible technical teams, but not everyone is necessarily an expert in Power Automate. And so this is an easy way for our partners to very quickly scale and build those solutions that they want to go to market with. There's almost always, if you're building something on top of business applications or Power Platform, you're absolutely going to use Power Automate. You're going to use some sort of processing. You're going to have maybe custom connectors, custom flows that you build. Well, this could take like 60% of the work out there for you. I'm not saying it's perfect and, you won't need any technical oversight, but it does a lot of legwork for you. And I think it will significantly cut down like the time it would take to create, again, a proof of concept or minimum viable product.
I love it, Brenda. And this reminds me so much because I'm definitely not as technical as you, but all of us who maybe utilize Outlook, and you go through, and if you set up an inbox rule to make sure that for all of us who get thousands of mails like I do, you have to set up rules to say, okay, if you get this type of message coming from this person, go route it to this folder. And what you showed here is a great example of taking, granted, that was a very simplistic one in Outlook, but what you've shown there is pretty powerful because all the people listening who are part of a partner, especially ISVs, and you're doing stuff with Dynamics, of course, it's business process. So think about all this automation that can be built and executed. And rather than trying to build all this stuff from scratch, you're actually taking advantage of the platform to go create this business process automation across the Microsoft Cloud scenarios, which I think is super, super, super powerful. I know we have about 4 minutes left, Brenda. So before we wrap up, and actually, I was just looking at the thing. We've gotten a couple more people commenting. So let me just do this. And it looks like we have a question here too, if you're open to answering it. So Elaine, thank you for watching. I apologize. I might be pronouncing your name correctly. Definitely don't speak French. I wish I did, but thanks for watching from Paris. And thank you so much. This is the site for people who want to try out outside of BizApps, the new Bing experience with OpenAI ChatGPT. Jason, thank you for, of course, colleague of Brenda, watching from Cambridge. So thank you so much. But here's the question, Brenda. How complex can descriptions be? Is it a component by component approach, or can we tell the whole flow in one go and create the triggers and actions? Thanks, OG, for asking.
From what I've seen, I haven't tested firsthand. That's a great question. I'm probably going to test after this because I just can't shake the architect in me. Okay, but I do think that the descriptions can be actually pretty complex. I do think so. So I will get back to you on this and confirm.
Okay, great. So OG, look for because we're doing this on LinkedIn. If you haven't connected with either of us, definitely, and I would, in this case, OG, I just send a LinkedIn connection request directly to Brenda. And then that will create the opportunity for Brenda to kind of circle back with you offline and drive it. Actually, we got one more. This is great to see. Thanks, John, for this comment. Powerful. You can literally build a prototype app sitting with your customer for the first time. That's very true, John. So thanks for making that comment. This one, I've looked at different AI software and wanted to ask what your most unique, impressive feature is and how your AI features are different from competitors.
That's definitely a loaded question. I think it, personally, as someone who used to architect this, by the way, Jason, feel free to chime in here to this question. I think like I love our entire cognitive services. I've done some really incredible things, especially like in the healthcare industry with that, in terms of like, we took like faxes, me and my colleague, we took faxes that were manual pieces of paper that came in. We were able to create a model that basically read those faxes and extracted data and put it in Dynamics 365. We also see that across invoices. I think uniquely AI Builder, personally, for me, AI Builder, which is under Power Platform, basically enables citizen developers to create AI models. To me, that is a very impressive feature because for many reasons. One, again, you don't need to hire like technical data scientists to do this. Two, you're equipping a team that you already have to help make efficiencies in your business. And three, I mean, I really haven't seen a whole lot of competitors to AI Builder. If anything, you have to do one level deeper, which is the actual technical stack of cognitive services across Google, AWS, or Microsoft. So to me, that's like a sort of a standout feature, especially when we're talking about like business applications and Power Platform.
Yeah, thanks, Brenda. And no, we're at time. So there's one more question here, and this is probably a quick one, Brenda, and then we can wrap up. So Ryan had asked, can it help optimize or improve an existing flow?
Ryan, I don't think it does that, but I'm going to immediately go back to product and tell them that we need to make sure that it does this, because that's a great suggestion. Yeah, I haven't seen that it does that yet, but that's a really smart idea.
I love it. So Brenda, thank you so much for the time. So to wrap up, love the innovation and what you showcase of what we're doing. I know we didn't touch upon things like having code be written for you. And I think that's pretty powerful because I've seen other demonstrations for those of you who are paying attention to many of the other capabilities that Microsoft is doing with OpenAI. There are demos. I don't have it off the top of my head, but I know we've done different examples of that. But what would you recommend, Brenda, as like for next steps? I'm going to flash up a site that we put together, but to wrap up, what would be things that partners can be doing and thinking about based upon what you showcased and shared?
I mean, I definitely think if you have a current environment with us, start lighting up these preview features and start testing them out. It's most likely going to help your development anyways. And if you don't have one with us, feel free to set up a trial. I know in the link that Brian shared, I sent the trial that you can set up. It's a free 30-day trial. You don't need like a credit card or anything. And you can light up and test all these preview features. So even if you're considering being a partner with Microsoft or bringing like a solution to market, this is a great opportunity for you to try things out, try the features out, test them out firsthand. That's how I always learn best. And I also linked a bunch of like articles that you can follow. And I would just kind of, keep following, Microsoft blogs and announcements around OpenAI.
I love it. Well, Brenda, thank you so much for making the time. We got a lot of people interest watching, and it's evident by the number of questions we got, as well as the number of people commenting where they're watching from. So if you enjoyed this, please follow the hashtag ISV Connect Live. We do this every Monday at 8 o'clock. Normally, we always host an ISV who's built amazing IP in the biz app ecosystem. But it seems like we should probably do this more often, Brenda, on showcasing you and some of the innovation, because I think it really resonated with helping partners understand how they can take advantage of our platform, particularly with Power Platform Dynamics and new innovation that we're doing with OpenAI. So thank you so much for the time. Again, people, I put this up here, just bookmark the site. It's not clickable, but if you want to screenshot this actually has many of the resources that Brenda mentioned, including links to set up a trial environment. And as always, connect with us. We're doing this on LinkedIn, so feel free to connect with either one of us. And for the two people who ask questions, definitely connect with Brenda, because she is very good at follow-up. So that would be the best way to connect with her, and then she can have that direct communication behind the scenes to give you that follow-up. So thanks again, everyone, for watching it live. Thank you for anyone who watches the replay, and appreciate it. Thanks again, Brenda. Have a great week, everybody, and we'll talk soon. Take care.
Bye.